name is Holly, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you my September book haul. So before we get into all of the books that I bought this month, which is quite a big stack, I just wanted to mention that I completely redid my bookshelves. They are totally different. My contemporary shelf is now one shelf below. There's actually only one shelf that I didn't even touch, and it's this middle one right here. I like the way it looked, so I didn't even touch it. And yeah, I just really like how it turned out. I put my tall hardcovers on the top row, and it just looks more aesthetically pleasing to me now. You know when you just want a change in your life and most normal people would cut their hair or dye their hair? Well, for bookworms, we change our bookshelves. That's just what we do. So the first book I'm going to be showing you is actually the most exciting book out of this stack. It is a 2018 release. That is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. That's right, I actually have this beautiful arc in my hands because of a super amazing friend of mine. Her name is Margot from Little Dragon Pants on Bookstagram, and I will link her Instagram down below in the description box so you guys can follow her. I definitely would. Her Instagram is beautiful, and she is such an awesome person, especially for sending me her arc of The Cruel Prince, which is one of my most highly anticipated books of next year, and I am so happy to have it in my hands. So this book has been being compared to Game of Thrones, but in the Fae world, which sounds so epic. I love my Game of Thrones, so if this is even anywhere near similar to that, I will be happy. This book also takes place in a modern setting, which makes the whole fairy thing sound really interesting, and I want to see how Holly Black blends those two things together. The only other book I've read by Holly Black is The Darkest Part of the Forest, and I enjoyed that, so I should most definitely enjoy this. So this book follows a girl named Jude and her two sisters who have been raised in the fairy world by a man who murdered their parents. Well, that sounds complicated already. So since the modern world exists, the girls occasionally sneak out and do normal things like go to the mall. They've been somewhat accepted into the fairy world, but they are definitely not one of them. Jude would rather train to be a knight and to win a place in the high court. But unfortunately, she is being bullied to the extreme by her peers who are led by Prince Carden. And this gives Jude the motivation for revenge. She gets caught up in a very complicated web of power plays as the fairy king moves to crown one of his sons. And Jude ends up joining one of the princess courts of shadows and becomes a spy. That's all I know. That's all I want to know. I can't wait to go into this. I will be reading this very soon. I am hoping for maybe the end of October or November. I can't wait. Again, thank you, Margot, for sending me this. I love you so much. The next book I have is The Confectioner's Tale by Laura Madeline, and this was sent to me by St. Martin's Press, so thank you so much for that. I was actually very surprised when I saw this in my mailbox because this definitely isn't something that I would normally read. This is a historical fiction that tells of two stories that are 80 years apart. The first story tells of a young man who falls in love with a famous pastry owner's daughter that ends up blossoming into a forbidden love. While 80 years later, aka the second story, tells of a PhD student who discovers a photograph of a pastry shop in Paris and her recently deceased grandfather's treasure, which takes her back in time to solve this mystery surrounding that forbidden love of the young man. This sounds like a really fun and breezy story, and it also sounds like something I would want to read in like spring or something. This book cover is just screaming spring to me, so I can't wait to read it then. The next book I have is All the Wind in the World by Samantha Mabry, and this was sent to me by Eloquent Young Readers, so thank you so much. Samantha Mabry is the same author who wrote A Fierce and Subtle Poison, which I have read, and I really liked that one, so I am really excited to go into her new novel. This is a magical realism love story that takes place in West Texas. The story follows our two main characters, Sarah and her boyfriend James, and they are traveling from plantation to plantation to find work. They're trying to save up money to live the life of their dreams. But as they move from place to place, they are also gathering a big list of secrets and lies. And the lies follow them and manifest into each new community that they come into. I am a big fan of magical realism, and this book sounds really interesting, not necessarily because of the plot, but because of the two main characters. I'm very intrigued by them, so I really can't wait to read this one. The next book I have here is Crystal Kingdom by Amanda Hocking, and this is the third and final book in the canon series. I think that's what it's called. I own the first two books. This is the final one. The first one is called Frostfire, if that helps you at all. I don't know what it is about this book, but this book I have been searching for forever. I don't know if it's out of print, but Amazon doesn't sell it new. They only sell used copies. And I'm very picky when it comes to books. I want them to be in very good condition. And I was on there one day and I finally spotted a very good condition that wasn't like 50 bucks, because they're all $50 for some reason. This one was really cheap and reasonable, and I had to grab it, and now I have it so I can read the whole series now, which I'm really excited for. This is a fantasy series which follows our main character Brian, and she is an outcast among the canon, which is the most powerful among the Troll tribes. Set apart by her heritage in her past, Brian is a tracker who's very determined to find her place in the world. He only has one goal in mind, and that is to become a member of the elite King's Guard to protect the royalty. She is not going to let anything stand in her way, but all of her plans are put on hold when she runs into a past lover, and he is up to something very suspicious and dangerous. I really need to read the story really soon. I've had the first two books for so long now. I finally have the third one, so I should really move on to this, and I'm excited to do so. The next book I have here is a very recent release, and pretty much everyone has it and everyone is talking about it, and that is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. So this is the sixth-ish book of the Throne of Glass series. That was a hard sentence to say. There's a lot of S's in there. This whole book follows a character named Kale, and I'm saying it that way because I have not read the Throne of Glass series yet, but I promise I am going to really soon. The final book comes out early next year, so I really need to jump onto the series soon so that I can pre-order that book and read it immediately and just talk about it with everyone else, because that's always so much fun and I always miss out on the discussions. So I can't wait to delve into this, and everyone seems to be loving this book. And everyone was complaining about it when it was first released, and now everyone is loving it. So I really can't wait. I told you I had a lot of books to share with you guys this month, but the next one that I have is Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendar Blake. The only reason I have this book is because one of my favorite booktubers, Super Space Chick, was raving about it in her recent fall reads video, and I immediately went on Amazon, found a very good used copy for only a few dollars. I bought it, and this is going to be in my October TBR. I'm slowly gathering a really interesting pile of books for October, and this just sounds perfect. So the story follows a boy named Cass, and he is a ghost hunter following in his father's footsteps. And he ends up moving to a very small Canadian town to hunt the very infamous hostile ghost named Anna. I have heard that this book is similar to the show Supernatural, which I don't watch. I know, shame on me, but I can't wait to read this. It sounds really spooky and dark, and that's really what I'm feeling for October. I will tell you my thoughts in my October wrap-up, because this is for sure an October read for me. So the next book I have here is The Valiant by Leslie Livingston, and this is a very highly anticipated book for me that I haven't read yet, and I can't believe I haven't. This story follows a girl named Fallon, and she is the warrior daughter of the Celtic king. She just wants to make her own own name in battle and be named a warrior chief. But then she is kidnapped and sold as a gladiator in Rome. And her older sister, who trained Fallon to fight, was killed by the Romans, so she is not fond of them at all. Until a really cute one shows up and all sorts of conflict begins. Another fantasy story that I just can't wait to read. The next book I have here is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. Every time I read the synopsis of this book, it confuses me, and I'm finding it really hard to find a way to tell you guys what this is about because I don't even know what it's about, and the plot sounds really weird. And all I really know is that the main character used to play in the woods with the Goblin King when she was a child, and then later on the Goblin King shows up again and takes her sister, and he alters reality so that nobody remembers that her sister even existed. And the Goblin King tells our main character that she has to play his game in order to bring her sister back before the next full moon. That's really all I know, and I'm sure there's a lot more plot to it than that. But yeah, I really can't wait to read this. This cover is so pretty, and the cover for the next book is just as pretty, so I can't wait to buy that and add it to my collection because these covers, man, so beautiful. Don't worry guys, we are nearing the end, I promise. The next book I have here is The Dollmaker of Krakow by R.M. Romero. This was sent to me by Penguin Random House, so thank you so much for sending me this copy. I wasn't expecting it, and when I got it in the mail and saw this beautiful cover, I was all for it already. This is a historical fiction that parallels a country with the land of dolls with 1940s Krakow, Poland. And it follows our main character, Carolina, who is a doll, and she lives in the land of dolls. Until one day she wakes up in the dollmaker's shop. She is there because the dollmaker needs help breaking out of his shell and to connect with living people, not just dolls. Meanwhile, World War II begins and shatters lives. It's getting closer and closer and darker. No one can escape it, especially not Jews. And although he and Carolina are not Jews, they end up befriending a Jewish family who they both dread losing. Are you kidding me? Poland, World War II, dolls. I am so for the story. This sounds so wonderful and magical, and I can't wait to go into this one. This cover is adorable. It has flowers and a doll, and it has tanks on the bottom, and I'm guessing that is the dollmaker down at the bottom here, and I just am so excited for this one. And it just sounds so depressing. In the land of dolls, there is magic. In the world of humans, war is raging. Everywhere there is pain, but together there is hope. That is a quote that I need tattooed on my body because it is that beautiful. Not really, I'd probably just get a print of it. So the next three books that I'm about to show you are actually graphic novels. Yeah, I decided to change it up a little bit this month, and the first set of novels I have is I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young. That's right, I couldn't remember. I had to look at the cover. Dang it, I failed myself. So I have volume 1 and volume 2, and I've actually already read these, and they are so amazing. I'll talk more about them in my September wrap-up, but man, these were so fun. And they're definitely not for everyone because this graphic novel series is extremely brutal, and if I say the words that I want to say, I will probably get demonetized. So I am just going to have to show you what I mean. So yeah, oh, that's not a very good picture. I gotta find a good one here. Okay, for example, yes, that's a giant. Brutal. More brutal pictures. It's just full of red liquid is what I'm going to say because I don't want to risk getting demonetized here. But like I said, I'll talk way more about this in my wrap-up. But yeah, I got these and I'm so happy that I have them. And the final graphic novel that I have here is Giant Days by... who's this by? Oh, John Allison and Lisa Treman. Yes, that. Why aren't your names on the front cover? Oh, I guess it is right here. Allison plus Treman plus Kogar. There. So when it comes to graphic novels, I actually read the first issue free online before I buy it because I have a hard time spending the amount of money graphic novels are new. and how small and how quick you read them. I know I have a problem, but I read the first issue online, and if I like that first issue, I buy the graphic novel. And that's what happened with Giant Days. I really enjoyed the first issue and had to buy this one. The artwork is beautiful. There is some of the artwork, and there's even more. So this story follows 3 girls who just started a university, and they become very fast friends. And the 3 characters are so vastly different and amazing, and I fell in love with them just in the first issue. I really can't wait to delve even more into the series, and I can't wait to buy the other graphic novels because there's quite a few volumes out already. And yeah, I can't wait to add them all to my collection. So finally, the last set of books I have to show you are from a book outlet unboxing. I actually filmed the entire thing, so if you want to watch that video, I will link it down below in the description box. And I am not going to explain the books because of that. I would recommend you to watch the video so I don't have to repeat myself. So yeah, I'm just going to show you the books really quickly and wrap this video up. So the first book in that book outlet unboxing is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, Wink Poppy Midnight by April Tachok, The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, and Starfall by Melissa Landers. I hope that's all the books. I feel like I'm missing one. If I am, just watch the other video. So that is the end of my September book haul. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me down below in the comments what books that you have recently purchased this month, because I would love to know. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up because it helps me out so much. And until we meet again, happy reading.